Welcome to Live Action Star Wars. I'm James.
I'm Ralph.
And it's been a while since I've introed one of these, so I almost completely lost it. Today we are going to take a trip. Both Ralph and I think, need a bit of a vacation at the moment. So we're going to take a trip to the lovely planet of Endor, or the moon of Endor.
Right.
And we're going to do it on Star Tours. Everybody knows Star Tours. They're a completely reputable tour company that fly you wherever you need to go. What could go wrong?
Exactly. And the same thing went wrong for like 15, 20 years.
Something like that. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I knew it was. We've talked about Star Tours and stuff in the past when we've done things about Disneyland and the parks and all of that. I didn't realize that it was the same age as me. I didn't realize it was 87 that it opened. Because I went, like, I didn't realize how new it was when I first went. So I first went to Disneyland in 1990. I was 3 years old. My brother and sister are a lot older than me. And yeah, there's like VHS camera footage of it. But yeah, that was my biggest memory of going to Disney at all. It was Florida. It was seeing the ATA. It was like the whole setup of that ride there it was amazing. I loved it. And then, yeah, I rode it a bunch over the years whenever I went to any of the Disneys. So it was good fun. And then I've still yet to go on the Adventure Continues or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Which is
I think every
almost as old.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that because that came around after
2013
prequels.
Yeah.
Still 11 years.
2011 Disneyland. Yeah. May 20th, 2011 for both the ones stateside. 2013 in Tokyo. 2017
before
in
Green
Paris.
Lantern came out.
Yeah.
Oh, 2011 was big for Green Lantern.
I saw your pictures the other day.
Yeah. Star Tours. I love it. We're going to talk about the original. I have loaded up on my desktop the original boarding video.
Yeah. So when we put together our master list of like things that we should cover, the Star Tours boarding video was on there pretty much from the start when we were first both throwing out ideas. That was one early one that you threw out on there. And then I was looking through that list because it is getting shorter now. And we had one episode to fill before the Acolyte starts next week. And I was like, what are we going to do? What should we look at? And then I was like, Star Tours boarding video. That would be fun. And then as I pulled that video up to watch it, I was like, oh, the whole ride is here. Like, you can just watch it. And the whole thing takes less than 10 minutes if you include both videos. So we're just going to do both, I think.
Yeah. I have them both queued up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on the boarding video now and we can still just talk about it while it runs because it does have a countdown.
Yeah, perfect.
Very similar.
I have your attention.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. There's the volume.
So I think most of the people in the chat, at least, have ridden the original Star Tours. A lot of people saying how much they love it. Yeah. But it's for anyone watching this at any point who didn't. This was on the little CRTV or like shitty screens that were in the queue. Like they would just be running all the time.
Right. And I realized that this doesn't have the whole countdown. I thought it had the whole countdown when I downloaded
Okay, does it show the countdown and then cut? Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is kind of a bummer because there's bits that happen during the countdown.
Yeah.
There's
the darkening, like the ship lights up and everything. They sort of start activating things. Yeah,
it's great, but it looks like this one doesn't have it, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a version of it somewhere, but
right, it'd be fun to recreate this for opening countdown.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
Like setting up.
The Live Action Express.
Yeah. Let's watch the video because we have it queued up and if she's just going to talk. I have no idea who this lady is. I looked her up because I thought this would be something that like Patrick would book for a George Lucas talk show. Is this woman?
Definitely.
May I have your attention, please?
Her name is on IMDb, but there's some debate whether it's
Oh,
her
okay.
or a different person. So it's not really clear who this is.
The up here of pre-show announcer. Is that Stephanie Taylor? Is that who you've got?
That's that's the one they think it is.
Okay,
So
interesting.
only credit is this, but then also credited for the story continues as a
Mm.
boarding member. So
Hmm.
she might be in the boarding video also. I don't know, because I want to say
I'm
they still use the same boarding video with like Chewbacca and the Reese and
Teak.
uh, Teak and my friend Jerry Black,
Oh,
who
wow,
Jerry worked at me with Disneyland. Somehow was an extra in this video as just a person.
that's amazing. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, if and presumably she was just a Disneyland employee at the time, did this video, and you know full well, you know a lot of them, that like a lot of people who are working in the parks, they're lifers pretty much. Like, so if she was around and was around when they did the videos for the new version, I
Mm.
think that's really nice that they included her. Like they went, okay, who is still here? Who can we put back in it?
Right. Let's see.
May I have your attention, please? At this time, I'd like to
do you
take a
think of the
moment
haircut?
to review our boarding process with you. When the automatic doors have opened, please proceed
very,
directly across the ramp into the cabin.
Holiday
Continue
special.
to move all
Yeah.
the way across your aisle, filling in every available seat. For your safety, all passengers are
I'm
required to wear
pause
safety
this.
restraints throughout the flight. To
It's great.
fasten the
Like, there he
There's
is.
Teak.
Like
Yeah.
because I'd forgotten. As soon as it started playing, it all came flooding back to me. Like just seeing Chewie and Admiral Akbar like in the background, and then some Ewoks and things. And then as soon as I saw Teak, I was like, "Oh my god!" Because I've not seen Teak since we did the Ewok movies
Yeah.
or Battle for Endor.
Yeah.
And I know your fondness for Teak, and it was just
But I'm assuming they just grabbed stuff from the Lucasfilm archives
what
over
was
at the
around. Yeah,
ranch. And I mean, you got to figure this is what, 2 years after Battle for Endor?
yeah, about that.
So this is probably the costumes that are the freshest.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they've like the Chewy costumes have always been rolled out a lot, but
Yeah.
and a couple of they're not Admiral Akbar necessarily, but like a couple of the other Mon Cal from like the bridge crew and stuff. It looks like.
All right. I'm gonna need to know what this hat is this guy's wearing.
Oh yeah,
I need to know what this hat is.
another
And
Disneyland ride.
if I were to go to the celebration, I'm not going to Japan,
That's that guy.
but this is the guy. This is the outfit. This is the cosplay to wear.
That's the new Will Rudd. Oh, Wilfred Hood or Will
Wilra
Hood.
Hood. Or
Yeah.
you see people dressed as the boom operator from Tunisia.
Yeah.
Like this is the one right here. Like, so this, I mean, I'm giving it away, but if anybody at a celebration knows the green polo guy with white shorts and a
Again, it feels very
aviator
much like a
glasses and hat.
Patrick. It feels like a Patrick thing because of his
Cabin.
affinity for hats as well.
What do you think that hat is?
What
I need
else
to
was around
know.
at Tomorrowland at the time? I mean,
But that's the
mostly.
thing. I don't know. I have no idea. It's got to be like a Disney hat, right? Like they're not. It's not like
Yeah.
you can't even tell what that is. I'm gonna find that hat because the rest of that outfit's real easy.
Oh yeah.
Aviator glasses. Plus, it doesn't look. It looks comfortable, like you would wear that. Actually, he's got a camera.
Continue to move all the way
Show
across.
it short shorts.
Oh yeah. They are
Short white shorts.
short shorts.
Yeah, I'd go for it. I'm
I mean,
thinking.
like, I'm thinking back to like when I went with my whole family and stuff in 1990, and I was like, I'm pretty sure my dad wore the exact outfit.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
right there. Yeah. I do like that there
Yeah, I need
are
that.
like there are regular Joes boarding. There's your costume people, and then there's like in costume humans who are also there. I think it's a fun mix. I mean, it's
yeah,
what
because
Disney did.
this lady's wearing has
Yeah,
crazy
she
hair and wearing like
and the
a
one
flight suit.
I think it's her sitting next to Teak, or it's someone who's dressed in the same sort of uniform.
It's like the mix of Earth humans, Earth tourists, and like space people.
Mm.
There's some
So-
kids in the back.
what always gets
Oh
me
my
about
God.
the ship, like what you board here and stuff, it's like I don't know if
Continue
I think
to
it has
move
been
all the way
canonized. I
across
think it's
your
in Rise of Skywalker. It's one of these. If you look in the space battle and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well,
Um,
there's the Rebels. The Rebels had like Rex and stuff in Star Tours
yeah,
was
yeah.
a thing.
Filling in
But like
every
these
available
ships
seat.
are there, and
For your safety,
was it the
all
when the
passengers are
Mandalorian, when
required
he's
to wear
getting on his
safety
shuttle and
restraints
checking his
throughout the
weapons and
flight.
things like that, I always feel like, is that a Star Tours ship, or is it? There's some similarities there. I don't think it's
Right.
exact, but the blocky design of it just it fits.
There's a lot of regular people here, so they really sprinkled in the Star Wars stuff really nicely.
Yeah,
Because
it's
if
not
you look
overdone.
now, it's all just regular people, so they really knew how to block out and put all the Star Warsy shit to give you the feeling that it's like for people from everywhere.
Yeah,
To fasten the
Yeah, there's Teak.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that is the same lady.
yeah.
I'm not familiar with that outfit.
It's new. It looks like she could be like cabin crew or something for the Star Tours, but
Yeah, I like it.
restraint, pull the strap out from the right side of the seat and snap it into the console on your left.
See, those are different
Galactic
now. They have like
regulations
yellow
require that
straps.
all carry-on
Okay.
items be
Teak's feet.
yeah. They should be like.
Oh
going super
no,
fast.
that must be someone else's. The outfit
Oh, yeah,
has
that's-
Argyle
wow.
socks.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Continuity doesn't
safely
matter.
stowed beneath your seat.
Should we deep in
Well,
conversation?
I mean, that kid has a TNC shirt on in the front, so maybe that dude's hat could be like anything.
Yeah.
While on board, flash photography is not permitted. And please, no
Yeah, it
smoking
really
at
looked
any
like
time.
the monk out there was about
If
to
you have any
backhand that kid.
questions, feel free to ask an attendant.
So something's different here. Now I remember, is it the Reese with the 3 eyes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When they say no smoking and no flash photography, it's a Reese with the camera with 3
Okay.
lenses,
Oh wow.
and he's smoking a cigar at the same time.
Wow.
Now I'm wondering if it's been changed
Yeah.
because
possibly.
it shows depicting of smoking is like a bad thing and stuff.
Yeah.
Am I remembering this wrong?
I can't
gonna look- I'm
remember
gonna do
that detail.
Reese.
While you're looking that up, I'm on the IMDb for it, and you've got obviously Paul Rubens and Anthony Daniels are sort of top build, because it is their voices. But then you've got Kenny Baker and Dennis Mirren, Peter Mayhew, Warwick Davis. They're all on the IMDb, but everyone is listed as uncredited, including Paul Rubens, who was 100% should be credited. But I guess it's because credits don't roll on the video itself, like when you're in the ride. But I think it's nice that if those guys were in fact playing those roles, playing those characters, it's good. It's in the same way that like the Terminator, whatever it was, Universal, was Linda Hamilton and Eddie Furlong.
Yeah. So there's your Reese.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's a hell of a
I
camera.
wonder why they took it out. Yeah, it's like that. He takes the camera down. He's got the 3 eyes.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
fun
and he's-
reveal.
Chomping a big old cigar there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. I
Yeah.
wonder when that got taken out.
Which version? Are we looking at one that's
Yeah.
newer or older?
Yeah.
You'll be
No
boarding
idea.
in just a few moments. Thank you, and have a pleasant tour.
So I always, and it's the thing that you can do now, which is every time I rode Star Tours, I always was like, because in the line there was always more posters and videos for
Yeah.
the other places that it tours to and things. I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to go there. I want to go see that. I want to go there. Like, and
Yeah.
that, I mean, that is the joy of the ride now, is that it changes, and they keep on adding new ones, which is really cool. That it's
Yeah, they're
constantly being
doing
updated.
they're doing Ahsoka stuff
That's
soon,
awesome.
if not already.
amazing.
I could see
Love
them
that.
rolling it out earlier this month on a Saturday. But I think Rosario Dawson did record stuff for it,
Cool.
and I want to say, is there Andor now? They've added a couple.
Wow. Oh,
keep
the
adding stuff.
Aldani. Yeah, I remember seeing the Aldani like like escape,
Like-
basically, wasn't it? Yeah.
Do they so the thing that's kind of cool is when they add the new things, when it's like, okay, we now have Ahsoka stuff and we have Andor stuff or whatever they do, they'll just run the new ones
Cool.
for like a good few months. So if you
Okay.
really want to see those, you don't have to, go to Kashyyyk again and stuff. They make sure
Yeah.
those are in the mix so you can check it out. They did that with Rise of Skywalker,
Great.
with Exegol and what's the Endor moon?
Jimmy? Oh no.
No, not Kajimi.
The
It's-
other
Yeah.
the other
You
Endor
know
moon.
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the wreckage.
Yeah.
So like they had that like running for a while. So I got to go on that a couple times and see those.
That's
and now
cool.
they're just kind of like thrown into the mix. But with this, you only had one adventure. I got a video from this is from Rad Retro. And Rad Retro did a cool thing where they have like the HD version of it, but then
Come
they
aboard.
also
This is Captain Rex from the cockpit.
put
Oh, they
Rex in the
included.
corner.
That's great.
Flight, and it's mine too.
So you'll get to see Rex and R2 and Steve Gormley, Steve
Where is it?
the
Steve
ILM model maker.
Red Leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Leader.
I see they're loading our navigator R2D2.
Steve
and
Gorley.
then we'll be on our way. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
But what's great about this is it's all models. Like it looks like,
Roger, control.
I mean, it looks like models, but watching it in this way, it weirdly looks like models.
I like. It reminds me again. I'm bringing Terminator back up. It reminds me of the Terminator 2 DVD menu because that was all like animated and stuff as well. This has got to be just after Flight of the Navigator, right?
Probably the same time.
Hmm.
I can look it up.
Love that siren.
I meant to do that. A little shortcut.
I mean,
R2, light.
Flight of the Navigator 86, so it's a year later.
you're after. I wonder what the process was behind that,
Hmm.
like of getting like Paul Rubens. I mean, he's huge at this point,
Yeah. This is the biggest he's ever is.
and reprised the role of Rex in the Ogus Cantina, as well as on Rebels.
Yeah.
So, have you ever seen ice crystals like this before or after?
The closest thing I think would be the beginning of Rise of Skywalker when they're like hopping around the light speed skipping, but it's so brief.
But I love looking at there's like hidden edits.
Okay,
Here, like when it hits the ice,
yeah.
there's the like right
Some of
here.
them are more obvious than others.
Yeah. The pans up to the stars and then come back down to a
Yeah.
closer shot of the like okay,
Like, you
like
can
those are
hide
tiny
that, like-
models.
I'm watching this and you can sort of go, okay, right, this is what the simulator itself is doing.
But also like again, no digital stuff. There might have
No.
been edit right at this time. So they had to like do shots of models and be like, okay, we need to find places to cut. We can't just
Like video quality
like, this is
wise
great.
and CG, it's very, very reminiscent of when we did like Rebel Assault 2 and things like that. It reminds me a lot of that.
so that's a model.
Yeah.
And then pan up away from it, come down to a closer model. Like it's so good. Because the thing with Star Wars, you can cut. In this, you can't cut away.
Yeah. And I like that it's not just a reusing of the shots from Star Wars. Like it's the same camera movement. It's invoking that, but
Pan up,
that is a
closer
different.
model.
Yeah, it's a different layout. That's more like Death Star 2.
Yes. It's a lot of
A
guns.
lot of towers. Say about 20 guns. Some on the surface.
So now
some
we're
on the
getting
tower.
that's more. Oh, there's an edit there. That
Yeah.
laser blast. So this is a new trench. I'm gonna cut back a little bit
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, this
So
is
the laser blast. This is a whole new
It's-
model. than the Star Wars one, but
Yeah.
there's a cut that look at here, and then the white it goes white, and then
Yeah.
you're way closer.
Yeah.
So you're going into the trench model, which is I believe it's a new trench model because there's like obstacles that you have to go up and below and stuff. It's not just an empty trench. There's like scaffolding and things.
Like even back when I was first riding this ride as a kid, I was still like, I understood that it was a ride and that it wasn't like canon or anything like that. But I'm like trying to piece it together. Like I was like, wait, so is this the Death Star 2 before it gets blown up? Are we just like, could we have helped? Could we have told them about it beforehand? And I was just like, well, I mean, we didn't do anything, but then we did blow it up at the end. So is this a third one? Is this after Return of the Jedi? Like, my 6, 7, 8-year-old self was thinking all this shit back then.
Of canon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a different Death Star.
It's got to be. It's the third one.
Because the Star Tours blows up the Death Star, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, it's definitely the way it plays out. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's another edit I just noticed was this TIE fighter comes in, blasts us, and then the trench, you'll see scaffolding show up out of nowhere with the explosion.
Very video gamey. There it is. Yep.
So they're really using those blasts.
Yeah. Like by this point, there'd already
blow it
been.
up. Star Tours didn't blow it up.
No, it was Red Leader.
Steve Gorley guy did.
Yeah. So by this point, there'd already been video games where you've done the trench run and stuff like the old arcade games and things. Like they've already existed, but this is then just the like exact. I feel like every Star Wars game had a version of this for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
For varying different degrees of success. Like I remember there was one of the Rogue Squadron games where you had to like make real sharp 90-degree turns and things. Some of them it was just up and down over scaffolding, but I feel like the scaffolding stuff that you see in this was like that was used as obstacles a lot.
Yeah, they I think the Star Wars the arcade game had scaffolding.
Yeah.
They were like symmetrical little like beams that you just had to go up and below. Let's see, what is who's Rex in this scenario? Ralph or James? Co-Rexes? As far as I don't know, as far as this show, I don't think anybody's steering the ship.
No, definitely not. Not at the moment.
Yeah.
We'll be back to normal next week, I think.
Yeah. Just nailed it. They got so used to hitting those.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, I mean, they must have been drilling it after the first one, after like failures. The former Red Leader. What's Wedge doing at this point? Wedge wasn't at this Death Star. I'm really disappointed. He was off running Rogue Squadron.
Death Star's nobody. It's like not even a big deal.
They don't care. They're dime a dozen these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wedge
they didn't
been
fix
running
the
Rogue
flaw.
Squadron, and they still had Red Leader. No, of course not. It was. I mean, this one was in production at the same time. They were all being built at the same time, I think. At factory.
Man, this was behind the Star Destroyer that Palpatine was on.
Yeah.
In Episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you can see the light speed going the other way in R2's.
Yeah. But it's a different effect. Like it's a cheaper effect. But this stuff, I think I always weirdly preferred these bits because I'm like, this is new Star Wars. This isn't like redoing something that we've seen before. Like this is a new location. And I think it's because you've walked through the ride, like the line area and everything, where it's decked out to look like you're in this place.
Also, pre-Aeromesh.
Oh yeah.
It just flat out says fuel.
Fuel. Yep.
And I think in one of the Adventure Continues thing, there is one of these tankers that comes through.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I don't know if it just flat out says fuel though. But that's George Lucas being like, people gotta know what they're about to crash into.
It's like one last little bit of threat.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry
Is that
Kind of
Dennis Muren? Because Dennis Muren's in there as Star
doesn't
Tours
look like
mechanic.
him.
Doesn't. Who else could it be?
He might have been at the
Eric,
beginning
yeah,
during the
Eric
countdown,
Keeler, Star Tours technician.
possibly.
Yeah.
But let me just say, like, this comp shot is very good because we're
Yeah.
looking at a model,
Yeah.
and so when it pans down,
Sorry, folks. Sure to do better next time. Was my first
yeah, there's like a parallax view on that window.
Mhm.
We do hope you enjoyed your tour of Endor and will come back soon. Now please unlatch your safety restraints by pressing the release button on your left. Oh, and do make sure you have your personal belongings. Thank you.
And then
There you
it
go.
opened back out, and you're back
Yeah.
out. It's so good, so well done. Like obviously, you look at it now, and it looks cheaper and everything, but it was 1987, and it was amazing.
I mean, when you're on the ride, you don't think it's models. Like,
Right.
you know it's models, but
course
you
you
don't
do.
think about it.
And you
don't
know that
notice
you're in a
about
simulator that's just like on a gimbal, but like
it. Yeah.
I don't know. It was one of those things. Like they were everywhere around that time. There was always a simulator like on the beach or somewhere in town. Like there'd be one popped up, and it was like some fighter plane thing or whatever. But like it was just something special about it, and it wasn't just the fact that it was Star Wars. It was better. It was that, but like heightened.
Yeah. There was, again, this came out when I was 10. I
Mhm.
was already hardcore into Star Wars. I remember seeing Empire. I remember seeing Jedi. And this is 4 years after that. And
Yeah.
I'd watched the Ewok Adventures, so they were
Mm.
somewhat fresh. So being able to go to this was like an insane dream come true. Like
You're in it.
it's
Yeah.
still like I still get very excited going to Disneyland. It seems like every time we go, Star Tours is the first thing we go on because it's right at the end of Main Street to the right.
Mhm.
And it's so easy just to go right in there because it's really, you're like on that side of the park, really, you go on that, it drops you off right by Space Mountain. Like those are always
Perfect.
morning to me. It's always like going in. And it's more than just the ride too. Like the queue is amazing.
Yeah.
Just seeing a full the design of the Star Speeder 3000 1000
Yeah.
I think it was 3000, and I think maybe now it's the 1000, like because it's a prequel, I guess, or something. I don't know, whatever it is. I love the design. I remember there was some sort of deal where like at supermarkets or something you can mail away to
3000.
get a free ride poster. And I got the ride poster in the mail, and I just opened it up and I stared at it because it was Star Wars. And I love the design of that ship. It's so
cool.
simple,
Yeah.
but it's so Star Wars. And when you get into after like staring at that poster forever, walking inside the queue and seeing that ship there, like I think that also helps me because this is the most boring design for a ship.
Absolutely. And you like
It's a box with a
it's the one
wedge.
that you walk around, like the one that before you
Yeah.
get into the boarding thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first time. I must have been 10 or 11 by the time we got to go check it out for the first time. But it's the first time I saw a full-size Star Wars ship. You know. And then they had kind of a big X-wing in the Starcade when you exit. I don't know if that's still around.
Yeah.
But just being able to like walk into the thing, you see the Mon Calamari up in the control booth. They have the big board, the big boarding pass board that shows all the other adventures you can go on.
3PO is there greeting you and stuff as well, right?
3PO is there. R2's in there. They're both
Yep.
working on specs for the ship. They're like 3PO's at the control board, trying to like, communicate with the ship to make sure everything's all right. R2 is in there actually fixing stuff. There's steam coming out of it. There's lights coming out of it. There's sirens. There's noise. The sound. I'm assuming Ben Burt did the sound for the attraction.
Yeah, I'd be
I can
shocked if he
only
didn't.
assume.
Yeah.
But there's just the sounds of being in a spaceport. The chime, like Star Tours has a branded chime, the do that plays throughout, like in different areas for announcements, for the commercials for the other destinations, the boarding passes that have the different planets on it. Just all of it was like it immediately, like as soon as you enter that room and turn that corner, it's like, oh, I'm in Star Wars. And still to
I'm
this
looking
day,
at I'm looking at a picture of the queue now, and yeah, it's spot on. Can see, yeah,
but like
there's there and
still
there.
to this day, I walk in and I'm like, this is Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
This makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's and then you go around and there's other droids where I think Paul Rubens also did some voices. I'm not sure, but now like Patrick Warburton does
Oh, cool.
voices for the droids in the queue, and
That's
it's cool
perfect.
just to see like an R5D4 in being crated up. They have a sort of window with silhouettes of different alien species walking by and droids and stuff, and you get that hum. There's like just a hum, like a Star Wars ambient hum in there that sounds like a spaceport, and you could hear ships taking off and stuff. Like
It's the
everything
sound
about
design
it is
yeah.
it's kind of perfect, and it's like 2 rooms. It's the
Yeah.
big room and then a smaller room, and then you're
The
on the
loading
ride.
room. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the queue, like,
Economy
I
of
think
space is amazing.
it is, and like it's something that they kind of overdid with when they did Indiana Jones, but they did something very similar where they just created a queue. You haven't been to Disneyland in
I've been
California?
I've been last time I went would have been like 2001, 2002, somewhere around there.
Right.
But yeah,
The
Indy was
Indiana
there.
Jones queue is like so long, but it's
Yeah.
like not like none of it. It's not used as much as it used to be,
Mm.
but it's still like being able to like go
It
around
feels
the
like
truck
Indy though.
and
Like,
join.
yeah.
Yeah, and the truck, you hear the truck has the is essentially the generator for the lighting inside, and
Oh,
so
okay,
as
great.
the truck sputters out, the lights outside
okay.
sputter, but you can follow the
It rings a bell,
wires
like,
into the lights inside.
I've definitely ridden the one in Paris more frequently than that
Yeah.
one. And yeah, it's the same there. The Indy ride there is it's good.
If they do a new Tomorrowland, if they start updating it and stuff, I would like them to extend the queue for Star Tours. They have an extended queue for Star Tours, but it's literally like a room with posters on it. Like it doesn't look. I think they put one Mon Cal in there, and that's it. But it would be cool if they actually like extended it.
So the last update to Tomorrowland was in '98. It looks like.
Yeah, I was working there at the time.
Yeah.
Rocket
So,
rods.
yeah. I've got pictures of Disneyland's entrance in '96 before the makeover, and the entrance in '98 after the makeover. Yeah,
It's due.
Yeah,
it's due for something new. I wish somehow they could move Star Tours into Galaxy's Edge.
It makes
I
sense.
don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense, like creatively, but I don't know if it makes sense, like physically, to be able to do that. I mean,
how close? How close was the Galactic Star Cruiser? Like that building's not being used at the moment, right?
Right.
You could do something there.
That's over in Hollywood. That's over in Florida, though.
Oh, okay.
But in
one
California,
well,
I
right?
don't. Star Tours is in Tomorrowland. There's no hotel. But
but I'm thinking
cool
like
if they can move it.
How close is the Galactic Star Cruiser to like Galaxy's Edge in terms of like layout of geography of like where things are?
I think you have to take a shuttle ride.
Oh, okay.
To get into the park. It's like outside the park.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But I feel like Star Tours, it would be cool if they just completely revamped it. Maybe they just dump the old one.
Yeah, and
get
move
a third
it.
attraction in Galaxy's Edge and like completely redesign it.
Could you still use the same tours and videos and things like that? But like,
I feel like the actual Star Tours now doesn't take up a big footprint. And I'm trying to think if possibly between like Splash Mountain and Rise of the Resistance, there may be enough room to stick a Star Tours in there. Steve just said no. Like I want the same.
It would mess up your mornings. It would mess up the mornings when you go.
It would mess up my mornings. But it's just so out of place now. It's so out of place. And I mean, I kind of just want, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to go to Disneyland, but I do want to go to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Like if you make it here, if you guys make it over here, which I'm hoping
it's
you
when
do.
it's not if, it's when.
Yeah. Anybody who follows my personal account on Instagram, the only reason why I have the highlighted taco stories is for James and Liz.
It's very
This is the
appreciated.
only reason.
We've got stickers
And then I
now.
freaking listened last week. So we listened last week
Mhm.
to Top 10 Tacos, your show that you do with Liz. And there was a guest segment on there with Tristan.
Yeah. He just randomly sent us that. It was great.
I mean,
You're welcome
tempting
to
us over here.
You're welcome
You're
to it
tempting
whenever
us.
whenever
don't
you
wanna
guys
commit.
want.
I'm so busy. In fact, like I told you right before this, we started recording like the shit I'm going through now with the movie. And then there's no data link last week. Thanks to everybody. We took last week off because at the time we normally would do data link. We were interviewing Emily DeRaven in Los Angeles. So it's just been like nonstop busy. Yesterday I was doing so much stuff and my eye was twitching all day, and I'm just like, oh my god, I just need to I need a break from, I just need a all the stuff needs to stop being piled on, because as soon as I, like yesterday I did like 5 different things and I felt good, and then I woke up this morning, checked my email, everything was good, got out of that shower, and everything just like shit hit the fan. And I was just like, oh my god. I said, listen, I'll get to you guys in an hour. I gotta go talk about Star Tours. So I don't want to start a new podcast like a top 10 tacos US version, like The Office or something.
You guys would go for so much longer than us. We'd be done, like, and then you guys would just keep going for years.
Oh no. But we'll see. We'll see
Hey,
how we
whenever
feel.
if you guys ever have like one that's particularly good, or you've got some stuff to say, you're always welcome to record something. Just send me the file, I can add it onto an episode. Great.
Yeah.
Always welcome. Always welcome.
Sarah says they have tacos at Disneyland. Ronto wrap a taco? We're trying to figure out if a Ronto wrap is a taco.
It looks like
kind of like
it's kind
like
of it's
flatbread.
yeah. I'd say it's more like a
really.
pizza bread. Like yeah.
They're probably not good tacos at Disneyland. Ronto wrap's good though. They're expensive, but they're good.
Yeah, it's Disney. I'm sort of expect it to be expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
We're talking about the stuff at the parks, and it wasn't planned this way, but I think it is interesting that we're doing that like within a week of, I don't know if you saw it, there's like a 4-hour review discussion, not a takedown, but like a whole thing about the Galactic Star Cruiser that came out last week that was sort of doing the rounds, and a lot of people were talking about it and how
With Jenny Nicholson.
Yeah, Jenny Nichols did it. And it's sort of started out as a review, but it was taking her so long to do it that by the time she was finished like making the video, the whole thing had closed. So it evolved and changed into that. Have you had a chance to watch any of it at all?
No.
I've done about half of it, and I feel like everything that she's saying, obviously neither of us got to go. But we've spoken to a fair few people who have, and everyone's opinions are going to be unique to their experience. But I don't think anything she said was unfair, but it did seem like she just kind of got unlucky with the experience that she had when she went. And I think it's just a case of the fact that someone could go and have a bad experience like that and just be sat at the wrong place for the dinner and things like that, and not be able to see anything, or to do a lot of that stuff. The fact that it was there and there was going to be people pretty much every trip having that experience is not a good thing.
Right.
But I mean, she was also very fair and talked a lot about the stuff that she really enjoyed and how cool it was, and how overall it was cool that it existed, and it'd be nice if something like that could exist again. But I don't know, it just sort of felt not unfinished, but yeah, it's different. Brooks, I'm talking here. It's like, yeah, saw the video, appreciated it, but there's also some great stuff elsewhere.
Yeah, and we've had like Rick on.
Yeah, Rick went a
Adam
bunch
and stuff, and They had great times. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I like my only sort of insight into that is our guests.
Yeah.
Is through our
Yeah,
guests.
exactly.
Like
And
I
it's
have
it's
no
people that we know personally. They're like, I know that Rick's opinion isn't a bought opinion or anything like that. He's not one of the influencers who was out making videos and stuff like that. He would have
yeah.
probably never really talked about it other than
Yeah.
talking to us about it on the show. Like, so it's cool. We know people that went a bunch, and I mean, you're not going to spend the money to go back again and again to that unless it's really amazing. I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. My whole thing. I have a different relationship with Disney than other people.
Of course.
I speak of Star Tours with fondness because it was around before I worked there. Same with Galaxy's Edge because it was there after I left. Well, I was still there, but I wasn't part of any part of working in that area.
Yeah.
So that's nice. My relationship with Star Wars is like, I don't know. Right now, like I'm like, I mentioned this before, super annoyed with May the 4th this year. Super annoyed that not even any Star Wars official thing mentioned anything on the 25th about the anniversary
that annoyed me.
of Star Wars Jedi or Solo or anything. I'm just like, fuck. Jeremy Kelly sent me a DM saying, well, KTLA, the local Channel 5 station in Los Angeles, posted about May 25th. And it's one of those things where
there were people out there. There were some people who were making a point of it or making their posts about it. And like, it was nice to see the Orthodox Star Wars Day hashtag sort of get a little bit of traction, but in comparison, it's like it was nothing. But it is what it is.
So as a kid, I never really watched Droids or Ewoks, the cartoons. Being a kid, there was something in my brain, and it's part of the reason this show is what it is that cartoons are fake. All live action Star Wars is real. The Ewok movies, Star Tours,
Holiday Special.
It's all Rebel Assault 2, like Holiday Special, like all of this stuff. I really didn't know about the Holiday Special until I think I was just out of high school.
Yeah.
Just out of high school when it started resurfacing, because I would have been 1 at the time.
Yeah.
I think it came out, or 2.
And it was buried.
So my I still feel that way, that I don't give a shit about any Star Wars unless it's live action. And I tend not to get excited about stuff. Like, I haven't watched Tales of the Empire. I still only watched like the first season of Bad Batch. I'm sure I'll get to them. I've watched 1 episode of Visions. I don't, for me, I want to see lightsabers. I want to see droids. I don't want to see pictures of droids or drawings of droids or CG things, whatever. You know what I mean? So that being said,
I agree here with shiny plastic people that Tales of the Jedi was better than Empire.
Well, I mean, I'd rather watch Yaddle than whoever.
Barasofi, yeah.
1 week from today.
We're back.
Live action Star Wars
with lightsabers,
with
droids, with Wookiees. Like,
I have no sort of idea what's going to happen other than what I've seen in the trailers. I haven't really been watching the TV spots or they've been.
I watched one and then there was too much. I'm like, I don't need this now. I'm good. Like, just give it to me. I'm ready.
I'm pretty much staying. I'm not on Twitter, and I'm staying away from any sort of Star Wars talk online. I know they did a premiere for The Acolyte, probably the first 2 episodes here in Los Angeles. I saw Silver was there. A lot of people were there. Your new rock stars and your Star Wars Explained and stuff. Those haven't heard anything about the show. I'm sure they weren't allowed to see anything.
I saw like the reactions are allowed to be out. The full reviews aren't, but like instant reactions are, and pretty universally positive. Like, you can never really tell 100% with those things, but universally positive, maybe a little bit slow at points in the time, but like, it's the first couple of episodes of a new series. Like, good. I want it to be a bit slower because I want to get to know these characters. So without seeing anything, I am very, very hopeful. I think it's going to be excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm somewhat excited about it. It sounds like it's being released the night before we do our shows. I think you're going to be missing one. I'll
I'm gonna be
figure
missing
something
one.
out.
Yeah, I think it's episode 5, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be at a festival in a field with no signal whatsoever. I'm definitely not gonna
Yeah.
be able to do that one, which is a shame. I'm really annoyed. It's depending on when it comes out, I might try and watch it in the car on the way there. Because I think we've got a lot of logistics of how we're getting there and everything like for that festival. So if I'm not driving, I'm gonna try and watch it in the car. I might download it like as I get up and then watch it as I'm driving
Cool.
up. Yeah.
Cool. Next week's episode 1 and 2, we're
Yes.
covering both. We're being joined by Eddie Pence.
Yes.
Very excited to see Eddie. Eddie's like he makes it almost like a holiday or something. Like it's like it's a signal that a new show is back.
It really is. Like we've had him on the first episodes of a few shows. I think
Boba
Mandalorian.
Fett, I think
Boba Fett,
Andor.
Andor maybe.
It's
He's
every
early. He's early in the season. It's always great to get somebody in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. It's fun to send him that text and say, it's that time again. Do you want to join us?
Yeah.
I said, and I always say, you don't have to. I know you're busy. I know you're doing stuff.
Mhm.
But I always give him plenty of outs, but he's like, no, sounds great. See you then. I'm like, awesome.
Jacob Fullerton
so-
is also going to be joining us later in the season.
By the way, speaking of Jacob Fullerton, saw him a couple weeks ago in Los Angeles. I mentioned it on the last episode. Star Wars Minute and the George Lucas Talk Show put together a reading of The Phantom Menace with a bunch of comedians and actors and amazing people. And
I watched the live stream. It was amazing.
Fucking rad.
So
Being in
good.
that room was great. Everybody's ass hurt because it went on really long and the seats aren't comfortable at Dynasty Typewriter. But I think next time they got to do Attack of the Clones. It was so awesome. I know Patrick is currently cutting. He got like 4K footage from every angle, like
Amazing.
complete shots. So he's currently editing that. If you get a chance to watch it, I don't know how he's going to release it, but give it a watch. It's crazy. Tony Hale is Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon
was terrific. Haley Joel Osment, who auditioned for Anakin Skywalker,
should have
been
probably been
chance. Yeah.
No disrespect to Jake Lloyd or anything. Like I think everyone's beyond trying to like throw any sort of shade like that. But like Haley Joel Osment's excellent, and he goes for it in this role. Like I don't know if the live stream is still available. I watched it within the first week because I don't know if you can still. But if it is,
but it will be made available again. I know that. For that I'm certain.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And while I was there, ran into Jacob Fullerton. It was dark. I ran up to he was off to the side. So I got up. Jeremy Kelly was there. My sister and Stevie were there. I got up. When I was
watching the live stream, I like as I watched it later, I was like, oh, there's Ralph and Stevie and Jeremy and there's Jacob. Like I was just pointing out people to myself. I'm pretty sure I recognized some other people in that crowd, like from sort of the area, basically people that I know are there.
So I popped up and went and sat in the front seat in front of Jacob and turned around and said, "Hey, I heard you're going to be on live action Star Wars for Acolyte." He's like, "Oh yeah." And it's like, "Oh shit!" He didn't recognize me at first. He's like, "I didn't recognize you. I only see you on the screen." I also have my glasses on, which I don't have on today, but my glasses are fairly new. And he says, "I'm so sorry." I said, "Dude, don't worry about it." And I said, "Hey, let's take a picture. Let's take a selfie and send it to James." And I did that, and I said, I pointed myself on the screen. I said, "Yeah, see that I look." He's like, "Oh yeah, you totally look like you now," because he's looking at me on the screen. And then while I was talking to him, Anthony Carboni came up and started chatting about stuff, and it was just like, oh, it's really cool. It was a really cool event with like Star Wars fans. Everybody had a good time. I'm very excited to catch up with Jacob. I'm sure if there's time, we'll talk about that show during our Acolyte episode.
I'm sure.
Since we last saw Jacob on the show, Rooster Teeth went away.
Yep.
His channel Funhouse
Funhouse
went
gone.
away. But
But
him, Patrick, and Charlotte are now on Astro Goblin,
yes,
which I subscribe to. I haven't joined their Patreon because they're
Amazing.
entertaining.
they're great fun. The three of them came straight from Funhouse, continuing doing what they're doing. Patrick and Jacob were the two over at Funhouse when they were doing their Starboys series with Minch. Minch is their Yoda species friend.
They still have it too.
Oh, Minch is gonna be around.
Yeah.
So you know he lives with Jacob now, so you might get cameo.
Oh, great!
But yeah, it'll be. We don't know. We'll see. Minch.
Yeah, because it
goes
looks
by
like they're
his
doing
own-
Astro Goblins from Jacob's
Oh, it's
room.
it's from Jacob's room. That's the new
Yeah.
studio essentially. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. Go
Um,
support those guys and check them out. It's good fun.
Yeah.
Gameplays, silly, fun stuff. If you like any of their Funhouse content, you like that.
So Sarah went. I don't know if this is something Sarah would normally go to, but it was her birthday weekend, and we had plans, and there was one of the things in her plans was going to Alvera Street, which we may take you and Liz to if you come. We got potato tacos that were great, taquitos that were great, and then taquitos that weren't so great. So we'll let you know which ones not to get and which ones to get. I'm like, we don't have to do if we don't do Alvera Street on Saturday, we could do it Sunday, and then you can go with us to this thing. And I'm like, it's a big ask to be like Star Wars
do this.
Lucas. It was a lot, but she enjoyed it. Got a picture with Tony Hale.
Great.
Got to meet Bobby Moynihan. Well, just say hi to Bobby Moynihan. Yeah. She'll get to meet Bobby in September at the movie premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she says that Alvera Street should be the first stop for tacos.
Okay.
Yeah, Brick, come down and get some tacos with us. Yeah,
That's just making me so jealous.
I look at the pictures of your tacos. I'm like, yeah, those are tacos. I don't know.
They're not a patch on what you guys have got. You guys have just got.
I know. I'm trying to think like. Yeah, it's one of those things. Well, I mean, I'm sure people in Mexico are like, "Oh yeah, California tacos." Sure,
yeah.
But it is one of those things. We didn't do it this last weekend, but Stevie has sort of made a vow over the last somewhere like maybe about a month ago or so that each weekend we should go try new tacos. We didn't get any on Memorial Day. I don't think we did.
We're trying to get the last 2 episodes out before Glastonbury, so we've got just under a month, so that we've got like a full 10 list before then, because we've got stickers to give out. Drunk people in fields love stickers, believe it or not. So I'm going to be giving stickers out for the podcast. Last year for one of the days I was dressed as a taco, so people loved that. So I'm just going to make people subscribe that way. So that'd be a bit of fun. But we haven't this week because my foot has been flared up with a real bad gout attack. So I'm just trying to do everything that I can to flush that out and keep that healthy, because, I'm really bored of being in pain.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's not good. But yeah, like we should have some new episodes out soon. We know the next 2 places that we're going to do. It's just a matter of getting to them.
Do those places know you're showing up?
No,
because it's weird. It's weird seeing taco places really get into what you're doing.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Because like,
one of them we didn't manage to get to, which is a shame because it was in Greece. But yeah, there's a couple.
But you have like your following isn't like super crazy at the moment.
No,
but taco places are really starting to like take you guys very seriously.
It seems that way. Like there was a Michelin star taco place that shared our story. They are in Mexico City, but I think they're just sharing anyone who mentions them, which is cool. But like, still, like from that, we got a few more people checking us out, and sort of taking us seriously, which is great fun.
Great.
Obviously, we're limited in where we can go and what we can do and what we can try and stuff. But there are a lot of places in the UK, at least, that I think are starting to look at the list and go, okay, well, there's some competition there. We will see. I might be setting up a Patreon. There might be some merch on the way. We'll see. So it's just, and again, in the same way that the Casino Skunk just funds like the back end side of things, all that would do would be just going straight back into tacos.
Oh my God. There's an email sent out yesterday to ABC from somebody that was speaking on our behalf and mentioned Casino Skunk Productions in the email. And I'm just like, this is bizarre. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just so weird. And that's kind of where I'm at right now in my brain
wait to
is
see that logo.
dealing with ABC. We'll be here next week.
We'll
sure.
be back next week with a show. Like I'm really excited. So it'll be regular time. We might go long because we've got a couple of episodes to talk about. But yeah, you know where to find us. It'll be 5 p.m. UK, 9 a.m. West Coast, on the Wednesday, and by then we will have seen 2 episodes of The Acolyte. It's very exciting.
Yeah. New Star Wars.
I'm glad for you that like you'll be getting it the night before, so you don't have to get up stupid o'clock in the morning. That's nice.
Yeah, it is.
I'll
nice.
be watching it during the day.
Cool.
That's gonna do it for this week, I think. Thank you everyone for joining us. This is fun. Star Tours is great.
we hit 500 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Amazing. Thank you, everybody.
And I talked to Anthony and I talked to Jacob about our little show in this corner, and I told him how I'm not compromising. I'm not going to be an asshole about Star Wars. I'm not going to be an asshole about things being woke just to get numbers. I'm more happy to have 500 people who want to have fun and be positive than be jerky. And even though my Star Wars enthusiasm has waned over the last couple of months, I'm excited to be back to
what I love about you, Ralph, is that like even though it's waned, all it takes is something excellent to come out and something to get you excited again, and it'll come straight back. And I think there is a good chance that it will come.
Even watching like the Phantom Menace reading, and hearing some deleted scenes, knowing that all these words came out of George's mouth, and seeing the actors on stage react to some of those things, like this is really in the script, was really made me sort of nostalgic for 99 and getting something new. So I'm excited about Acolyte, but man, once I can get tickets to go see a Star Wars in a theater, like then I'll be like so amped. So amped. I think that's I get jealous when I see like Silver and Molly and Alex and all those guys get to go to the Acolyte premiere. Like I don't need to be a part of Lucasfilm's like
inner circle, like the clique, like I
don't need to be part of that, but I do want to sit down in the theater and watch a new Star Wars. So I don't know. Tell your friends to come subscribe. Let's become big enough to where we get invited to that stuff, just so we can see stuff on the big screen. I don't want to be, I'm not saying that they're like
shills or anything like that.
No,
they
obviously
give fair reviews.
Crazy fans. They just have a bigger following, and so I would just say I would appreciate the bigger following only to be able to see Star Wars in a theater,
and so I can get some books early. That'd be great, just so I can do like book reviews and things. Because by the time I've read a book these days, like it's months old, cares. And there's no new information that I can give you. I liked it. It was good.
And what's great is like what made me happy for Alex and Molly was that it gave them a couple weeks to be able to do their Star Wars Explained video. They got to jump on that because I know those guys are super busy. I mean, every season of a show, I reach out to them and they're like,
in season, like, one day we'll get them on Monday. They're great people, and I'm excited. I'm very excited for Acolyte. We don't have long. Less than a week now.
Thanks for everybody for showing up.
And thanks for bearing with us in the off season as well. Like it's been a longer off season than normal, and we've had a lot
Yeah.
of episodes where we've just not put out anything. We've been busy. So thanks for sticking with us. And hey, next week we'll be back weekly.
Right. Right. Well, hopefully. I'm assuming there's still 3 more interviews.
Potentials.
We should be done. There's one that we absolutely must do and must schedule. But yeah. So
I believe
we
in
should
it.
be around. We should be around.
Yeah. But stick with us, follow us on like Instagram and Blue Sky and things like that, and you'll find out any updates. But as far as we're aware, it'll be Wednesdays 5/9.
Right. Let me just check something real quick. Okay. So Acolyte episode 3, I just realized that maybe I might be working a different job.
Okie dokie.
producing
I will
Giga.
do.
So, but I think we have someone for that. We'll figure it all out. We'll
Yeah.
figure it all out. We will bring you Acolyte episodes once a week, whether I'm here or not, or James is here or not, but we'll be good. We'll be here.
There will be Acolyte episodes every
There'll be
week.
something.
Let's pull that one up. Yeah, that's Adam Frazier will be here that week, so we'll be good. We'll be fine. We'll
Oh,
make it
man.
work.
Those are the episodes where I talk the least anyway.
if you
So,
can't be there, then okay.
okay. We'll see.
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I got to get this.
All right,
job
everybody.
first, so.
Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. So don't give in to hate.
Celebrate the love.
Punch it.